We're Karen and Bo Christensen, a Danish-American couple who met in Germany in 2016. Bo is an airline pilot, and Karen is a freelance advertising creative director. In late 2022, we bought Château de La Tuilerie in Martel, France, and are working to make it a bed and breakfast and wedding destination fit for a queen. Welcome to Queen's Escape. This is the dire situation of the flower beds with the little peony plants turning yellow, which can be cut back. And you see that no weeding has been done here in all of August, and the weeds have taken off and just overcome the garden. But I was too busy working in the bed and breakfast. I spent some time the other day looking for a garden designer to engage to help me plan these front flower beds so that I can plant them here in the fall with a smart garden design. So I'm trying to gather some information for the garden design lady who wrote me back, and I measured the gardens, and now I'm gonna take the pH level for her. I just had a call with our potential garden designer, and her name is Alexa Ryan Mills. Ryan Mills is her last name. And we talked, and she said, she's going to decide on a palette of plants that would make sense for our gardens. This is if we work together. And then create a to scale plan with the circles on the diagrams about where we should plant things, and then also have another grid of where the bulbs would be planted. And then she would list all of the names of the plants and the quantities that we need and the sizes of plants that we need, and give me the recommendations for local nurseries where we can go and buy them. And then instructions on how to plant, and then a maintenance plan for them, and also recommendations of what to plant in the planters. So here is the initial planning palette that Alexa Ryan Mills has sent me. She does garden design, and I want her to help us with our front gardens. So here's where she started. So basically, she took all the information that I shared with us, which is what are we going to use this space for? So the area at the side of this side of the chateau, which is here and here, will be used for hosting drinks on the lawn and on the terrace during weddings and photographs. And also, of course, it's for our bed and breakfast guests. And I provided her with information about the climate, and I think she took a look at that too. And then told her we're on the south, we have sun all day here, and that we have really rocky soil, and our pH is 7.5. And then I gave her the basic dimensions of the two twin flower beds, and sent her some pictures of my sad gardens. And she knows where we are in France, and so okay. And then here is the color of the shutters that will be going up on the building. And then just a few things that, wedding timing is probably in the spring, and then in the late summer, early fall. And that consideration for the blue shutters, we made a request for climbing roses for the terrace, but I'll have a little chat with her to see if that's really reasonable given how tall it is there. And then that I wanted light pink to be the primary color, and that a supplementary color would be purple to go along with these shutters, and I'll explain a little bit more about that. And then I have peonies, here already and can move them. So here is her general color palette given the information that I provided for her. And so I think you look at basically this little, these pictures as a mood board. This isn't, hey, this is what it's going to be. This is, here is the impression that you should kind of get, with our finished product. So she's thought about our predominantly pink and purples. She's thought about the fact that we want it romantic for weddings, but also the fact that it is south facing and it gets hot here in the summer. And then, of course, as she should, she's thought about, height and shape and, different seasons, what's going to be visible in spring, what's going to be visible in the heat of summer, what's going to be visible in the fall. So here we start with the shrubs and climbers that she's thinking. And you can kind of look at them here by season. So here in the spring, these are the shrubs and climbers that she's thinking. In summer, here we go with the shrubs and climbers. And then, of course, in summer, we have requested the New Dawn roses. And it's not that we want those exact flowers. It's that we like the color of the peonies that I planted out there. And then these roses have that color and they're hardier in the heat of summer. Now, she's noted here that they need a little bit of a richer soil and more watering. And I think she has put this in red to let me know that this is not low maintenance and may not be appropriate. So we'll just have to discuss it. And then she has jasmines, which I adore for summer. So these are the shrubs and the climbers that she's talking about. Okay, grasses. So these are the grasses that she's thinking about for spring, for high summer, and for late summer and autumn. And then these two, I'm not sure why they're over here, except for that they probably run spring and high summer, and then this one comes in high summer here and goes into late autumn. Color-wise and texture-wise, love it. I have nothing to say about that. I get a little not sure about these metal colored things, and if you go back to the inspiration, this sort of beigey dead looking thing, but I really think that it depends on how it's paired, like what other things are in the garden adjacent to that. So then we get into the perennials that she's recommending. So for the spring, she's kind of looking a little greeny yellow. And then for the summer, the list is so long, I think that she went up here too. That's how that is. And so all of these colors that work in summer, and it's cool because the biggest, hugest blossoms and things, they can't really grow in the hot sun in summer, so you tend to get, I think, more small things. That is my impression just from the research I've done, but I love these little pinks and purples and the color scheme that she has going on for the perennials in summer. And then autumn, isn't that a gorgeous blue? Paired together with this pink. So here are the fillers and bulbs that she's selected for summer. So we've got pinks and whites, and these kind of go in with all of these summer items here that we've looked at before, so yeah, late spring, early summer. Aren't those beautiful? Love it. I love these allium. I don't know if I say it correctly, but these alliums, I've always looked at these and loved these, but haven't ordered any. So it's cool. I like what she's done so far. So she provided this, awesome. I am going to send her back this document. And basically, I just want her to know that in addition to being up close to the chateau, we need to have it looking amazing for weddings. And here is where we plan to have a gazebo and then have the seating back here, because these trees provide a wonderful shade that kind of goes right up to here. But if people are sitting back here, excuse me, this is basically what they see. If they take their phone camera out and they shoot the chateau, this is about as far away as they are if they're in the front row for our weddings. And so the gardens are this small. And so they have to look good from here, because undoubtedly people will have their wedding photos taken at the gazebo, and from this perspective. So yes, they need to look good up close, but we also need to think about what impression do we get from back here, and how does it complement the color scheme of the chateau from this distance. And then I shared with her how I have come to request pinks and purples, because when we were first choosing our shutter color, I was consulting this color scheme book. And this is a very rough match of our chateau color and this beige, because, we got a lot of stuff on the walls that we have been, paid to have someone come and spray the chateau to remove all of this fungus junk. And so it has lightened up, but not completely, but it has lightened up. And when it's a sunny day and it's from far away, it looks like this. So we chose this blue to be the color of our shutters, with this color scheme in mind, that whatever blue we would go with, we would have these sort of complementary pinks and purples, to go with it. So I requested to her that it seems like we would want to go with pinks and purples in our flowers, and also because I love that Sarah Bernhardt pink that says wedding to me, and I just like the flower, so I just basically wanted to share with her where my color scheme request was coming from, and to get her 2 cents on it, because it's not in stone. It doesn't have to be pinks and purples. If she thinks pinks and purples are not going to flow well with the building, and we're not going to get any synergy, between building and garden, then I would like to hear her thoughts about it. And that's basically it. And so I'm going to hopefully have a meeting with her tomorrow or Wednesday, and we'll go from there. Without my glasses is Muhlenberger Capiaris. Yep, I found it. It's here, this pink one, 1, 2, 3, and 1 on the other corner. And that's the left garden. And then in the right garden, it's this one, this pink one on top. And then 1, 2, 3, kind of in a curve. on the right side. And those are these grasses. And it's a little crooked, but they look like this. Yeah. Sturdy. Yeah, that's exciting. It's exciting to get them and to begin on the plan. We are planting shrubs first. And if you look on my computer here, I've highlighted all of the things that are coming in the next days. So, for example, that's coming, and maybe I can get right to it. Yes, so the Stipa gigantea is the other grass that I've ordered, and that's this and this on this garden, and then it's just one on the other garden. So these little pink ones that I just got and that beige are actually planted last. So the first things that we actually need to be planting are the shrubs, and that's these and this Humpty Dumpty, this one. These are little shrubs, yeah. And this silver pink, these big ones we need to plant first, which are coming in the next days. Good morning. It is a glorious sunny day again today. I think it's a little chilly, but it's gonna get up to 60 today. And I feel beat down a bit from yesterday's exertion. I think it's just that I'm not quite 100% healthy. Whoa, you know, I think it's that can't be age. Can't be age. So here's what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 silver pink plants. 2 Humpty Dumpties. We got these grasses several days ago. And these ones were hard to pronounce, but anyway. We got these 3 grasses today. And these are the Stipa gigantea, 1, 2, 3. And then we got these little guys. These are the Humpty Dumpties. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the Humpty Dumpties. And these little thingies. And there are, let's see, these are the Bolota pseudodictamnus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those. 8 of those. So here are the flower beds as our garden designer has laid out all the plantings. And then here is an overlay of our actual flower beds with the plants that I have ordered that are here that we will be planting tomorrow. And I created this just so I can have a little bit of an understanding of where the placement should go. And you'll also notice that the dimensions of the gardens do not exactly match. So I think if we look at this sort of in terms of flower beds being here, then we can just think of it as sort of cutting off here, and then we have a little extra space there. But I took the measurements too, so I can draw scaled. I can scale this one just as this one is scaled too. But in general, I just want to have an idea of kind of what the plants should look like placement wise in the beds tomorrow. And so these are basically our shrubs and our grasses. And then when we have some more funds, we'll get some more and then we'll fill in more of this garden. But excited to do this project tomorrow. I need to bring all the tools that we're gonna need over here. So my spade and a couple of shovels, and I have a tape measure in case we need that. And then to bring all of the plants over too, so that I'm pretty much all, and some scissors, all ready before my friend Gail gets here. She's a garden person, so I think she knows a lot more than I do. And you know, I have the guidance from Alexa Ryan Mills, our garden designer, for what we should be doing. So I feel pretty confident, but Gail, she just knows things, so it'll be nice to have her help me. All right, we are ready to plant. Gail is here. Hi. And I have the basically to-dos from the garden designer Alexa Ryan Mills, and just a few of the things that stand out. She said you won't maybe be able to get exact sizes for the plants, and she's correct. We have at least 2 different kinds of plants where we had to get them smaller, but that's okay. Remove all weeds, step 1, done. And then she said, now this is important, not to add any more compost or other fertilizers to the soil, because we want these plants in the front gardens to be hardy and strong. So we're not doing that until we plant the roses. And then the first thing we're supposed to do is set out the shrubs. And then after we're happy with the placement of the shrubs, to fill in with the grasses. So that's what we're going to do. And because we only have shrubs and grasses, that's pretty easy. So we have our handy dandy guide here. And so I'm gonna go up on the terrace, and then Gail is gonna maneuver down here, or we're gonna do that together, we're not sure, and we're just gonna get going. Okay, so we have set the garden up how we think the plants should be sitting on both sides, and eyeballed it as well as we could from the ground, and now we're at the top. We're on this side here, and so our first ones are these 2, which are all the way over there. And then we have these 3, which are 1, 2, and 3. And then we have this little guy there, which is right next to that, what actually looks pretty good. I think it should be back slightly a little bit, that little one, this one. Ouch. Yeah, perfect. So we agreed, I will direct and Gail will run.
Yes.
Yes, so for these 2, make sure you can see them, these 2 there, they are those 2 there, and I think that's perfect.
Yeah. You think this one should be back?
I think that one should be back a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just straight back?
Yeah. Yep, perfect.
Maybe like that?
And a little bit inside.
Yeah.
A little bit inside. Yep, perfect. Yep. I think that is good where we are here. And then we have these 3 here and there, 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And I would say that this one's slightly back, the middle one, the middle one. Yep, slightly back. Yep. Slightly forward and to your right.
This one again?
Yep. Sorry, a little more in. My mistake. Too far.
No, this way.
Perfectly inward. Yep, I think so. Because that one gets a little bit
bigger. It's all the way in the back here, so we're giving it space. And then it almost comes to the front of the garden, so that's great. And then the other one is here, this little green one, in relation to that one. And I would say for that one, just slightly towards me, a little bit. Yep. A little bit more towards you. Yep. And a little bit more towards the grass on your left. Yeah. Yep. Let's do that.
Yeah.
Good. Looks good. Looks good. Yeah.
So what we'll do is we'll just make a mark. Make a mark for the pot. Just not really making a mark. Okay.
Yeah, put that there. Perfect. Yeah, and you can kind of see where the pink is coming up.
Quite wide around to loosen it all. Ah, so that's good. So there's no resistance. Let's try. Because some of them are still quite small, so need a lot of the earth. Right?
Yeah. So we're removing 5 of the peonies from this garden so that our new plants have room to grow, and Gail will take them home, thank goodness, and give them a home, which is wonderful. There are Sandra Bernhardt peonies, so they're a light pink. They're really pretty.
They're just starting, so we'll just try to find.
Yeah, and my garden designer, Alexa, said, do not worry about taking them out in the wrong season. She said they're hardier than people would have you believe.
So,
Oh, beautiful.
here we go.
Oh, look at them.
See?
Okay. Wonderful. What are we doing now?
I'm afraid now we have to dig the holes and plant the plants. It's come to that stage. It's a dry wind, so let's see. Should be okay?
Yeah. Plant. And then there's a little tag in there. Here we go.
Now, I don't want to disturb it too much. I'm not sure. I'm not professional. Just pop her in.
Yeah. I think so.
Like this. Your soil's the same as mine. I don't want to go back in either. Let's see here.
Rocky
Yeah.
limestone soil, but very good. I mean, we scraped some grass off in the yard one year, and it grew back so fast. I was really amazed. And things seem to like to grow here, especially weeds.
Well, yeah, exactly. They love the heat. They love it. Okay.
Nice.
Right, how do we feel?
And Gail told me an interesting thought before, which was you put the water under the plant so that the roots want to go down and not up.
Well, generally, let's hope. Let's hope we can. Right, what do you think?
Yeah, good. Let's cut a little maybe.
I can just tuck it in.
Yeah. And then I'll get the spades another day to come in here with.
Happy? Yeah,
we have
so.
Planted plants. It's exciting. All right, we planted the whole left side, and it doesn't look like much now, but it's really exciting. It's really actually quite exciting to see these plants in place in the grand design scheme of things. And we did this one first because you have to cut through the landscape fabric to get the plantings in place, and now we'll do the side where we don't have to do any cutting. So the right garden is now also in. Very exciting. Very exciting. And now we'll just water it a little bit and let it enjoy the next few days of rain. What do you think?
Looking good. Yeah, really good.
Thank you for the help.
No, it's good. It's good. It's a good start. Really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the garden version of the Charlie Brown Christmas tree that's like this little sad Christmas tree. Long day of planting come to an end. And I think now if there's time, maybe I can get to the grocery store and get something to eat. But yeah, super, super happy. Super happy. Morning! I'm making little identifiers for the plants in the garden this morning. That's my first one. And you can see I need to take care with these names because some of them are quite long. They're small. But it's the nicest one I could find, and I think I'll just have to put some clear fixer on the top of it to make sure that it doesn't run. But I was able to find a metallic pen in my bag of pens, and I think it's gonna work. So I'm super excited about that. And so they have their little signs next to them. And I think once we get everything in the garden, it'll be charming. Right now it's useful. In the future, when we get everything in the garden and then we put some ground cover down that's pretty, then it will be charming. All right, I am super excited today because I have a new planting plan for the front gardens, and all of the plants with a red circle around them are the plants that are coming in the next coming weeks. And the ones where our white dots are the ones that are already planted. And I put them on this paper that has all of the names so that it will be easier for us to match the plants that are existing there with the names that are on the markers out there in the garden. So super, super, super exciting actually to be getting all of these plants and to also be able to see what's missing. So there we have the right bed, and here we have the left bed. And the ones with the little dots next to them are the ones that we're planting coming up in the next coming weeks. Very cool. Very, very cool. It took way longer than it should have for me to make that. And then also what we're doing is we are planting the planters. So I have 7 planters on the terrace sitting up on the stone railing, and we have a plan for these planters, and could be alternating, could be, you know, planter on furthest to the right, next to the right, you know, we could go this way. So we have a planter that's different every other one. We'll have 2 on the bottom, and we have 2 on the top of the stairs. And then we have 3 others essentially. So I'll have to have a look and figure out how to arrange, because these are all the same design, these 3 different plants, and then these are all the same with 2 different plants in each one. So that will be fun, but all of them are arriving, and so we'll be able to have the terrace looking nice for the summer, even if the beds aren't completely filled in
the planters will be. So, woohoo! Now I'm going to make some new garden markers with the names of the new plants that are coming, and this is a real treat for me. I'm just loving planting the garden. So I spent a lot of time watering it earlier. I'm supposed to water it twice a week, and we're going to get a bunch of rain in the coming week. So looking forward to planting after that. That's awesome. Cool. We have our little loops so we can put the wires through to allow the vines to climb.
And then 3 up would be here.
Yep. Right in the middle if you can. Yeah. We have received 3 boxes of plants today. Woohoo! All the plants cheer. Let's see what they are. I got 3 different kinds of plants today, and I've planted a bunch. So we've got some pink chintz here. It's also known as wild thyme, and I'm gonna have to take up this garden fabric so that it can spread. And then I got these Eryngium borgati, they're called. Several of these. Yes. And then we got just a few of these pink dominoes, and I am honestly not very pleased the way those arrived. So I'm gonna write to them and see if we can't get them send some more of those. Yeah, and so I've been planting them, and it's exciting, and realizing that it's time to probably pull up a bunch of this landscape fabric and have, unfortunately, but I have to go to weeding some of this, and I've come over this far, and I'm honestly out of steam because we've had a full day today, but gonna leave these where they are, and then hopefully there'll be a break in the rain that's supposed to be coming tomorrow, and I can get out here and plant them. And then they gave me an extra time, and the time will also go in 4 of our planters, so that is also to be done. And got the pots and placed over here where they go, and then I'll come and plant those tomorrow too. Exciting. All right, round 2. I put the creeping thyme into 4 of the planters. So this one here, and that one over on that side, and then the one on the corner up there, and the one on the corner up there. And that is so that here on the steps we can have the 2 planters in the bottom that have the same flowers in them, and then the 2 on the top, that's difficult, there and there, that have different flowers in them. So they match on the bottom and they match on the top. right, I just finished making some more of the labels for the plants that we're going to plant in the garden. And just as I was doing that, we got a delivery. So here are all of the plants. Well, I uncovered this little area of dirt and I found a friend. Hello. Hello, little toad. He's actually small compared to a lot of the ones that we see around here, but he's cozy right there in the dirt. I'm gonna have to move him so that I can put this plant in. Right. Plants are in, and some of the peonies are in pots because I had to move them. Looking good, looking good. Yes, and then here we are. Yeah. Our number of plants are growing. Growing, growing, growing. So the ones that we planted today, tick, 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 are some of these whirling butterflies. And these three. 1, 2, 3 are whirling butterflies also. And then here is the heavy metal switchgrass. No, sorry, that's a whirling butterfly also here. And then this here is the heavy metal switchgrass. 1, 2, 3 here. And then I transplanted this pink domino here from the other side because it was supposed to be over on this side. And I found out that these little plants are a bit dormant right now. So I need to wait a little bit before I worry about exchanging them. Hello, buddy. Little slug. I've got our little blue fortunes in place. Those are these little guys, and we've got a whole bunch of them spread throughout the garden. So there it kind of goes like that. And then all the way we have 2 here that will be surrounding, if I can get my finger on it, that kind of will be surrounding this Stipa Gigantea once it gets bigger. And then we have some over here, kind of a line of 5, boop, 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 and then a line of 3 here, and then 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, well 5 over here, which means that peony has to come out, and a whole bunch in this other garden. But I'm going to place them for now so they can be out and catch any rain, and then plant them when I come back. I gotta go clean now, and how many other things. It's a planting day, and today we are planting jasmine, tick, 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 and these little guys, Erigeron Parvinskianus, that one fell down, and one other, it seems to me. Nope, two others. Big ears, like this one, and over here we're planting Verbena bonariensis lollipops. Yeah, that's that. And as you can see, when we are pulling up this landscape fabric, it means we gotta weed. So there's that. But first I'll try to do the planting while I can. The things that need to be done, which is getting these plants in the ground first and foremost. And then secondly, I'd like to take a couple of these peony plants out to the mailbox and plant them out there where there's full sun. So that's the thinking. I watched YouTube videos on how to attach these jasmines to the railing there, and you know, there's honestly not the best guides on that on the internet that I've seen, but I've watched enough and they're hardy enough that I think we'll figure it out. All right, today I planted the jasmine first because they're the hardest to do. These little ones, they're not so hard to plant because I can do them with the hand shovel, and it's not so awful. But the jasmines were a lot deeper. Now, the way I planted them was at an angle so that they're leaning to the left towards the wall so that they can grow up, and then we can start to attach the vines to the two lines that Bo and I installed so that they can be trained upward. And there's the other line to the railing. So I've got that one there leaning that way, and then there's two more in this garden. So there's one here. Let me just back it out a little bit so you can see. So that one will go that way, and we'll stretch those vines, I think 6 to 8 inches as they grow apart on the training wire, and then allow them to grow upward to there. And then so there's one there, and then there's one almost in the middle just here, and then here the New Dawn roses will be, that will also be trained upwards. And then in the corner here is where the last jasmine plant on this side is. So they're asymmetrical, the sides don't match, and they're not a mirror image of each other, which I actually really like. Because if you make a mirror image, you know, and then things don't grow as well, or they don't grow perfectly, it really shows. But when it's like this, it just feels a bit more, I think it's gonna feel a bit more natural. It took a little while for me to warm up to it. So jasmine, jasmine, roses, jasmine, and then on this side, jasmine there, jasmine in the middle, and then I believe it's roses on the end. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, jasmine, jasmine, and then roses on the far side. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, excited about that. Right now, the lines aren't really long enough to reach up to the first wire yet, but
this plant is supposed to be able to grow up to 6 feet in a single season, so we'll just see. We've got just a few little plants that came today. Cerastostigma plumbagino. Ceratostigma plumaginoi. These little guys. I'll look on my plan here and see where they fit. All right, I planted my first Sucrium fruticans, which is one of the largest plants that will be in flower beds. Right now it's not quite the largest, but it will grow, and supposedly you can shape them into a ball. So, they only had one at the nursery, so I got one. Alrighty, today we planted these Hylotelphium sedum matrona. Planted those. And we planted some, they're like a yellow flower. They're called Euphorbia epithymoids polychroma. And they have little yellow flowers like that. And we planted some more here. And then we planted some Oreganum lavigatum herrenhausen. Oregano, essentially. And a few of those. Planted some here. Yeah, and then these matronas back here. That looks pretty good, huh? Everything's still growing up and getting established, and yeah. Oh, I'm starting to see some flowers on the pink chintz. That's cool. It's a little purpley. I hope it gets pinker. Look how well the garden is doing. Got a lot of flowers and a lot of butterflies. And in the fall, we'll fill in the gaps with new plantings. Love these orange butterflies. Those are the blue fortune plants that we planted. And then these down here are the big ears, which have gotten even bigger. And these are the blue cloud, and they're just starting to flower. Yep. The silver pink rock rose, which is here, finished flowering. That's an early spring flowering. But the verbena lollipop, these little purple ones here, are still flowering. I think it's almost time to deadhead them. But yeah, they really ought to pop a purple. Wow, look at that guy. How about that? And this is the pink thyme down here. And the pink flowers are a little lighter pink than I expected. They look a bit almost whitish, but that's a ground cover. And then there's Erigeron carvinskianus. These little daisy looking pink and white flowers. They do okay in the garden. They don't do so great in the pots. I need to chop them in the pots and then water them every day. And this is the Humpty Dumpty spurge here, which has gotten really, really big. No blossom on this year, but should do next year. And then these little ones, the little blue ones, they're called Ceratostigma plumaginoids. I can't. They just started to flower now here in July. Pretty purple flower. And then these guys here are the how do you call them, matronas, and they have not flowered yet, but I can see it's coming. So I'm looking forward. I think they have a purple flower, so I'm looking forward to seeing those. And then the ones behind, Eryngium borgati. They get a long sort of like a head poking up from them, and it's supposed to flower, but they didn't do this year, except for the ones that I planted that already had it. I think
you say it, Tucrium fruticans, this guy. You're supposed to be able to shape that one like a sphere. And I have several of those. This is the one I planted in the earliest in the spring, and it's doing the best. Yeah, it's doing the best. The others are doing okay. And then, look at that, it's doing great. And then we just had a huge growth spurt with this Cynara cardunculus, is what it's called. Huge growth spurt with this recently. It wants to turn over. Okay. Well, that's gotten real big. Real big. And the little markers I did with the wood, I'm replacing slowly with plastic, black plastic. And then the new dawn climbing roses that I planted are doing great. I mean, I see a little brown here, but otherwise it's doing all right. Happy to see that. The whirling butterflies, they're white in the early spring, and then they start getting pink. And I just love those. They are really, really pretty. We're missing one in this garden. We're missing one. But yeah, it's really come along. It's really come along. I can't wait to plant in the fall. And now this is called heavy metal switchgrass. This here and here. And then there's a third one here. And pretty soon the little grasses, the top of the grasses, will burst into little tiny blossoms of bright pink. I'm really looking forward to seeing the tops of those burst into bright pink. So that will be great. And then I think I showed you this Humpty Dumpty back here. It's gotten real big. This one did have a blossom, and I do need to prune that blossom. Yep. And I have basically the same stuff in a different configuration on the other side. And the other side is doing good too. Look at it. Wonderful. Look at these big ears. They're huge. and this little shrub is doing better on this side. Couldn't tell you why. The things that have lived are doing well. Are doing really well. You know, and not too much didn't live. This is my only pink domino to actually grow the stem in the middle and then to start flowering. And I lost several of these. But I have two other that just got the leaves at the bottom, so I hope that will come later. And I'm afraid that these just got too dry. I don't think they're gonna flower. That's a pity. Or maybe just here on top. Yeah, golly. And the blue fortunes are really big on this side. Look at that butterfly. Isn't that so pretty? It's a little one on me. Isn't that pretty? Well, it's called Oreganum levigatum Herrenhausen. But it's very pretty. This deep maroon color. Very pretty. A lot of purples in here right now. Purples and light blues. But our efforts have paid off. Really happy right now with the garden and where it is, because it looks intentional. You know, like there's something here and somebody loves it, and it was designed by someone who knows what they're doing.